This happens to me almost every night. I'm sure you recognize this sound. Low alarm from my Dexcom from compression. It happens to me every other night, every week. It's something I have to live with, and today I will explain to you how do I recognize this is actually a false instead of a real low blood sugar. A low blood sugar alarm from my Dexcom is something I experienced from the beginning when I started to use Dexcom. I've learned that if you apply pressure to the sensor will think there is a low blood sugar level and you start to alarm. And it will alarm and it will potentially ruin your night. It wasn't just one night, many nights. It ruined my sleep and I woke up feeling absolutely knackered. Not once it happened that I wanted to disable the alarm. Just sometimes drove me crazy, and I took the phone in another room, because it depends on the model of Dexcom you have. Probably, as some of you also know, you can't stop the alarm, you can't snooze it. It just goes on and louder, and it's not much you can do about it. Now let's speak a little bit about why these false alarms are happening. I don't know much about how the sensor works, but I understand when you apply pressure, the little sensor which goes a little bit under the skin, the plastic one, thread, is looking into the liquid, interstitial liquid underneath the skin, and the sugar present there is measured by this one. But when you apply pressure, the fluid which is moving around there, it stops moving on a little small area, and because it's not moving, actually the sensor is measuring there is no liquid, so therefore no glucose, so low blood sugar level. Now I'll tell you how I spot these false lows. I will start with the easier cases. So obviously we have cases when you apply pressure and you get immediately false, and when you wake up you hear the alarm, you check the phone and you see you have a trend up and then a quick drop in your blood sugar, and you can wait a little bit and immediately it will come back. Usually the way I do it, when I have a low, I just wait a little bit and then I check again my blood sugar level, and if another alarm is not coming, then it's a pressure. But it's easy to check on the trend. As soon as you look at it at a glance, if you have blood sugar level, I don't know, 7, and suddenly you have a 3 alarm, that's obviously false alarm. That's the easiest case, and I'm sure all of you can handle this quite easily. I will move to the more complicated situation. So the example I gave you earlier, it's easy because usually your blood sugar level is higher, and then you get a sudden alarm and you realize, oh, this is a false alarm. That's obvious. But what if the blood sugar level is 4, 4.3, something like that, and then you get a low? That's not so easy to understand if it's a real low or false. So usually when I get the alarm, first thing I do, I switch my position. So I will switch my position and wait like 10 minutes and then check again my blood sugar level to see what it happened. After the sensor had the chance to take another couple readings, 10 minutes roughly, sensor measures every 5 minutes, I will look again, and if I have again a low, that makes me think it might be actually a true low, not false one. And here I have two options I can take. Usually it depends how I feel, really, for me personally. So one, I can take some tablets, like 2 glucose tablets, and just go back to sleep. Or I can check the finger, just prick my finger and take the blood sugar with the glucometer. It depends. This is from person to person, but for me, many times I can handle it just taking 2 glucose tabs. It depends how the level of blood sugar is. It depends of many other factors. It depends how large was the meal last the night just before the bed, how much glucose I ate, how much insulin I've taken, how much sport I did the day before or the days before, and how susceptible I am for a low blood sugar. If usually I suspect, I know it can be a low blood sugar level. So if I know it is, I can just take a couple glucose tablets and go to sleep. And again, if the blood sugar sensor comes back again with alarms, I would probably check from the finger after that. If the tablets, they didn't solve the problem, and again the glucose is the test is coming back again with alarm, I need to check from the finger, because this is something suspicious, and I need to see, do I have a real low blood sugar, which I don't actually feel. There is another thing, I feel low blood sugar levels, so I'm very I rely a lot on my symptoms. So I'm not afraid of low blood sugar during the night. I know they are not good, but I'm not scared of them. So personally, I if I have a low blood sugar, I will wake up if it's low enough. I wake up and my symptoms are I feel very awake, and I don't know for you how it is, but for me, I feel like very, very awake. So I fell asleep like 2 hours ago. I wake up and I feel like I'm totally fresh, and I know I should not feel like this. It's weird, and when I check, my blood sugar level is low, and after that, when I start to move a little bit, I start to sweat and I feel not very nice. Of course, with blood sugar level, is always we want to prevent them. We want to make sure we don't hit this severe low blood sugar level. So to wake up like that, I needs to be severe. If I'm not that low, I wouldn't wake up, but still I would be in the lowish area, and I prefer to avoid that, and that's why Dexcom would help me. But in some cases like this, if I put pressure on it, it's can be problematic, and some sensors I found they are more sensitive than other sensors for sure. A very important factor in this compression lows, I think, is the location of the sensor for sure. Unfortunately for me, I always place the sensor at the back of my arm. This is the place I like to wear it all the time. I made even a video about this. So always, before I was worrying and looking for places to swap, but I just switch it. I wore for months same arm the sensor, and I was always just circling on a very little area up and down just to make sure I don't go in the same spot. Now I always switch between left arm and right arm, left arm and right arm, and I prefer to sleep on my right side, and when I have my sensor on the right arm, the back of my right arm, it's very, very probable to get a low blood sugar level reading from compression. I think if you put it on a place where you have more fat, it's easier to handle. But if the fat is very little, I think the symptoms are more severe from the compression. This is what I felt. I'm not sure if for you it's different. Please leave comments below. I'm really interested to find out myself. But for me, I don't have much fat around my arms. It's just a little patch area around my triceps, and it makes it harder indeed for me. So I need to be careful where I put it, and the location can help me to avoid. So one of the points I'm trying to do to avoid this compression lows is the position of the sensor. So even on the arm, there are some places which makes it worse. So I try to put it more towards almost the other side of my arm. So far that you can almost touch it when you go on the armpit. It's better if it's there rather than on the inside towards the upside. If it's towards the upside, I can hit it and get compression a lot easier and false readings, which I'm trying to avoid most of the time because area is quite small. It's tricky sometimes, but I kind of know where to put it with time, with experience, always moving around, and I kind of, it's a very little area, but I kind of hit it most of the time. I try to keep it on the lower side of my arm. I used to wear my sensor on the stomach, lower side, but not anymore. I don't even remember, many years ago I used to do it, but no more. And over there I didn't have lows from because simply from my position, and I think also I have a bit more fat there, tissue, which is used to help me. But right now, for many years, just behind my arm. Another thing you can do, but it depends really if you rely on the symptoms. So it depends on the sensor. For me, as I said, I used to have a G6 sensor. Now I have a 1 Plus Dexcom, and Dexcom 1 Plus, you can totally shut down the alarms. If you are okay with that and you are confident you can handle lows, and you are not, you feel it and you can handle that, that's fine. This is how I am, and I do it. I don't recommend you to do something you're not comfortable with. Make sure you can feel your lows. If you don't do that. But I did it since I have 1 Plus. If it's one of those sensors that it starts to go on and on and on, and you check from the finger and you see it's fine, I just turn it off, and that's pretty much it. This saves me a lot of problems. So if you are like me and you are not worried about severe lows which are undetected, you don't asymptomatic, and you get annoyed all the time because of this false alarm, which is basically they ruin your sleep. They can make your life miserable for good. And just by waking up, if I wake up to check from my finger, my night is almost ruined because it takes a lot of attention. When I need to focus with my eyes. I need to switch on the lights, and by the time I go back to sleep again, my sleep was disrupted. It takes me a while. I'm a hard sleeper. It takes me a while until I fall asleep again. Only that alone is giving me a problem. But if I check my finger, I see I'm good, and the sensor keeps going on and on and on and on. It's just annoying. So at least you do it once, you see you are safe, switch on the alarm, switch off the alarm, and then you have a nice sleep. This works only with Dexcom 1 Plus, not with G7. G6, I'm not sure. I think they want to discontinue it. I'm not sure if still. I think G7 is like G6 used to be, so you can't disable anything. It goes on and on and on. A very important aspect I want to bring is if the compression is too hard. It happened to me a few times. The sensor will never actually recover. So it will always show low. That is one case. In another case, it just stops, goes to no reading, brief sensor issue for a while, and then just you get a message 3 hours later saying the sensor error and stopped. This happened to me a few times. The scenario is I get the alarm, I do what I usually do, change the sensor position, see if I still get an alarm. In this case, I will get an alarm. I might get some sugar by mistake, which is not good, and then again I get an alarm, and I will have to check from my finger, and then I see, oh, blood sugar is fine, the sensor is wrong. I will switch off the alarm, and when I wake up next day, I still see low, and I check again from the finger, and it's finger is fine, sensor is low, and I have to take it off and put a new sensor. And this is fine because Dexcom will send me a new sensor. All I have to do is just to phone them up, and they will ask me for the serial number. This is how they usually do it. Before I put the sensor, I take a photo with the serial number from the box, and they ask me that, I give that, and they will send me a sensor immediately back. So that's something which it happened to me a few times. It happens also in sports when I hit sensor and I get a lot of pressure. But speaking about sleep now, even from sleep, it can happen. If you put a lot of pressure on it, it can damage the sensor, and yes, beyond recovery. So these are my tips. This is what I do for myself. This is what works for me, guys. These are the problems I used to have. So first, position of the sensor. I try to place it as the back as possible, closer to the armpit to avoid the direct pressure. The lower it is on my arm, the back of my arm, the better and the safer it is from the sleeping position when I sleep on it. And then disable the alarm if I know it's a false alarm. That's because I can use I use Dexcom One Plus, and this really, it was one of the reasons also when I swapped from G6 to One Plus instead of G7. I will try G7 again in the future. I'm just curious how it is. I want to test it when I go do some sport activities like swimming, to directly speak to my watch rather than my phone. But I'm not missing that alarm going on all the time. Please let me know in the comments below, how do you handle such situations? Do you get compression? Do you not? Where do you place your sensor? Where did you find it's better to wear it to not have compressions? Any of your thoughts help us, so don't hesitate. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It helps the channel, it supports me, it keeps me going. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.